Hello and welcome everyone to Breaking Biology. In today's video, we are going to learn about the human ear and how it helps us to receive and process sound waves. So the ear is one of the 5 sense organs that we have, the others being the eyes, the nose, the tongue, and the skin. The human ear not only helps us to hear sounds, but it also helps us to balance, the details of which we will see in this video. The ear consists of 3 different parts: the outer ear, the middle ear, and the inner ear. The outer ear is the part of the human ear that we can see from the outside. The outer ear consists of the ear pinna and the ear canal, which is also known as the external auditory meatus. The ear pinna is concerned with collecting the sound waves that are arising from different directions. So let's say all the sound waves that are being created around you are collected by the ear pinna, and it helps to redirect these sound waves into the ear canal or the external auditory meatus. So the sound waves traverse the distance of the ear canal and reach this membrane over here, which is known as the eardrum or the tympanic membrane. The eardrum or the tympanic membrane and the ear ossicles constitute the middle ear. The ear ossicles are 3 small bones in the middle ear that are named as the malleus, the incus, and the steps. It is interesting to note that the steps is smallest of the 206 bones that human beings possess. Now, it is the job of the middle ear to amplify the sound waves that are coming from outside. So the sound waves, after arising from outside, hit the eardrum over here, and then they are amplified up to 10 times by these ear ossicles and transmitted to the inner ear. The inner ear constitutes of the vestibular apparatus and the cochlea. These 3 canal-like structures that you see over here is the vestibular apparatus that is concerned with maintaining balance, and this snail-shaped structure over here that you see is called the cochlea, that is concerned with processing the sound waves and generating nerve impulses. Now the middle ear is connected to the pharynx via a tube-like structure that is known as the eustachian tube. So this eustachian tube is connected to the pharynx, and this helps in maintaining the air pressure on both sides of the tympanic membrane. So let's say the pressure on this side of the tympanic membrane is maintained equal to this side of the tympanic membrane. Sometimes when there is a sudden change in air pressure due to changes in altitude, like when going down an elevator or when a flight is landing, then you can feel a sense of discomfort in your middle ear, and this is mainly due to unequal air pressure on both sides of the tympanic membrane. This discomfort can be cured by yawning or opening your mouth widely, which releases the air pressure through this eustachian tube, and that again rebalances the air pressure on both sides of the eardrum, and then the discomfort goes away. Now let us see into further details of the inner ear. So the vestibular apparatus of the inner ear constitutes of three semicircular canals that are at right angles to each other. So let's say if this is the x-axis and this is a y-axis and this is a z-axis which is coming out from the plane of your screen right now, then these three canals of the vestibular apparatus lie at these three different axes. These canals are fluid filled, and any motion of your body results in movement of the fluid inside the canals, and that helps our brain to determine the position of the body. The cochlea is this snail-shaped structure that you see over here. The sound waves arrive at the cochlea via the oval window. So this that you see over here is the steps that is connected to the cochlea via the oval window, and it is bringing the amplified sound waves. You can also see the cochlear nerve, which carries away the nerve impulses that are generated from the sound waves inside the cochlea. The cochlear nerve carries the nerve impulses to the brain, which helps to process the impulses and helps us understand the sound that we are hearing. You can also see something marked as the round window in the cochlea. So if there is an excess amount of sound waves generated, then they are returned via this round window into the middle ear. This happens when, let's say, there is a loud sound, and to prevent any damage to the inner ear, the excess sound waves are returned via the round window. Now the outer part of the cochlea is a bony structure, and hence it is known as the bony labyrinth. Inside, the cochlear cavity is divided into three different compartments, namely the scala tympani, the scala media, and the scala vestibuli. Two different membranes, namely the basilar membrane and the Reissner membrane, help in division of the cochlear cavity into these three compartments. Hence, the inner parts of the cochlea are also known as the membranous labyrinth. These three compartments are filled with a distinct fluid. The scala tympani is filled with perilymph, the scala media is filled with endolymph, and the scala vestibuli is once again filled with perilymph. Now let us see how the sound waves are transferred in this perilymph and endolymph of the inner ear, and finally results in generation of nerve impulses. This diagram that you see on the screen is an expanded view of the internal cavity of the cochlea. Here you can observe that this is the Reissner's membrane over here, and this is the basilar membrane over here. And these two membranes have divided the internal cavity of the cochlea into the three compartments that I mentioned: the scala vestibuli filled with the perilymph, the scala media that is filled with the endolymph, and the scala tympani that is filled with the perilymph. Now the sound waves will be transmitted in these three cavities. So the first vibrations of the sound waves are created in the perilymph of the scala vestibuli. These vibrations are transmitted via the Reisner's membrane into the endolymph of the scala media. Vibrations of the endolymph cause movement of the basilar membrane that is present over here. Now you can see an organ known as the organ of Corti that is present on the basilar membrane. This organ of Corti consists of hair cells and a tectorial membrane. This right here is the tectorial membrane and these are the hair cells. The movement of the basilar membrane due to sound waves causes the movement of these hair cells, which then come in contact with the tectorial membrane. The contact of the hair cells with the tectorial membrane is what results in generation of nerve impulses, which are carried by the cochlear nerve fibers to the brain. The brain then processes the nerve impulses and helps us to understand the specific sound wave that we are hearing. Like let's say, it helps us to distinguish from the chirping of birds to my voice that you are hearing right now. Now, as I mentioned, when there is a loud sound, then the excess sound waves are transmitted from the endolymph of the scala media into the perilymph of the scala tympani. Now, these excess sound waves will be carried back by the round window into the middle ear, and this prevents any damage to the cochlea of the inner ear. So at the end of this video, I think you have developed a reasonable understanding of how the ear gathers sound waves and how it converts the sound waves into nerve impulses that helps us to understand sound. If you liked this video, do share it with your friends and family and consider subscribing to our channel. We regularly upload informative videos related to biology. Thank you so much and see you in the next video.